Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we're trying to see how to build a very simple app using Streamlit. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody. So let's see what we'll be trying to build in this wonderful tutorial. So this is a simple app which will be using the previous model that we built to build this simple app. If I come here and I paste in my hash type, I want to identify the particular hashing algorithm for this particular hash values. If I click on the predict, it's going to analyze this particular test and it's going to give me my result. So you can see that it was able to give us the original test that was applied, which is copyable, as you can see from here. And then you are going to see the prediction. So the prediction is MD5, and then you can also see the metrics. So this is going to be the prediction probability or the accuracy for this particular model. So our model predicted that is 97% MD5, so that's why it gives us as the prediction as MD5. And you can also see the other probabilities for the other various classes for this model. Moreover, you can also come back using the NameThatHash NTH library, and then you're going to see the result that NameThatHash gave to us. So we are using two approach, a machine learning model and then a simple tool which is using regular expression. Very simple. So based on this model, based on this library, MD5 was the prediction followed by MD4. So if I can expand this one, and then you can see the table with our result and the description. Very simple, very cool. Okay, so in case you're a picture person, you can also see the pictorial result, which is going to be MD5 as the highest probability, and then SHA1, and then the rest. Okay, so let's go back and see how to build this wonderful app from scratch. Alright, so let's see the workflow for this app that we're building. So the simple app is going to follow this simple workflow. We are going to have a place that we are going to paste in our test, that is the data, the incoming data from the user, right? Which in this case is going to be a hash test or a hash value. Then you'll be using a web framework, so you can use Streamlit, Flask, Fast API, Guardio, Django, or any other web framework, but in this case we'll be using Streamlit. Okay, next, then we are going to be using our processing layer. So for the processing layer, we'll be using our pre-built machine learning model, which we built some time ago with scikit-learn. You can also use TensorFlow in case you want, and then we'll be using our functions, building functions around them to help us make our prediction. You can also use any library. So in our case, we'll be using NameThatHash library to help us process the incoming data that you are receiving from our app. Then the result is going to be shown in our web framework. So this is going to be our simple workflow. So let's see how to build this wonderful app from scratch. Okay, so we're coming back again to our workspace. There's nothing here, and then we're using a very simple library called WebGenesis. So we just call this option. So Python 3 WebGenesis. In case you don't have it, you can just go back to my GitHub repository and download it, and this is what you'll be using for that, right? So WebGenesis is a very simple library. It's going to be WebGenesis create, then you want to create a Streamlit multi-page, then go to specify the name. So let's go to as hash ID to make it simple for us, identifier app, right? So it's going to spin up this particular simple project for us. So I go back again to this hash identifier app. You can see that it has created a simple file for us, and now let's create another folder for our models in which we'll be placing our machine learning model. Now let's open our file or directory, and then as you can see with WebGenesis, everything has been prepared for us in a very simple way. So let me make it bigger for my users. Very nice. So this is going to be our simple app we'll be building, right? Very simple. So we're going to have the home page. Inside our home page, we're going to have an option to receive the test from the user, and then also going to have some places to process the results coming from the user. So something like this, right? So I'll go back again to the app itself, right? And I'm going to create that particular option here. So this is going to be the option for the test input. So let's use forms. So with st.form, I'm going to give the name of the form. So let's call it as key. Let's call it as my form. And then from here, we're going to specify the results. So we are using a form to make it easy for us. So let's call it as my, you can call it as hash values, right? Then I'm going to specify my st.test area. And I'll specify that, okay, put your hash test here. So hash test here, right? Something like that. Perfect. And then I'm going to create a submit button, which in this case is going to be my st.form submit button, and this is going to take a very simple button called label. Let's call that predict, right? Very simple. So that's a very simple option. So this is going to help us receive the test from the user. Perfect. The next thing we'll be doing is that after that, you're just going to come back again, and I'm going to create an option to show the result. So if the submit button is pressed, what do I want you to do? I want you to return the result. So this is going to be my column 1 and then column 2. Then let's go to st.columns. I'm going to pass in, I just need only 2 columns. Then from there, there's no need of this. We'll just specify that, okay, this is going to be our result. So this is going to be for the result. So results, right? So it's going to be with column 1. I want you to show the original result. So st.info, the original test, so original data that was specified, which is going to be my st.test. I'm pasting my hash values. Perfect. Right, that is something very simple. So we have gotten it very well. And then we also need to create another one to display the plots, right? So this is going to be display plots. So in this case, it's going to be with column 2. I want you to display the plot. So let's call that st.info. Let's call that my plot, right? Or probability plot. Probability plot, right? For the prediction probability. Very simple. So we have built something simple. Let's see if the app is working functional. So I'll go back again and I'll close the previous app. So I'll be closing this app, and then we'll work on the other one. So I'll come back again to my workspace. We have our app here, and then to run it, just go with Streamlit run app.py. So Streamlit is a very nice framework that makes your productionization of your machine learning model and your proof of concept apps very simple to build. Perfect. So the app is opening, so it's going to use this particular URL. So I can just go back again. So which is this particular URL. Let's run it again. Right, so the app is working. So Streamlit app. So let's change the name from Streamlit app to something better. So I'll come down here and I'm going to change this one from Streamlit app to hash identifier app, right? ID. Well, let's call it identifier app, ML app, so that it looks different from the previous one. Right, something very simple. Okay, so now everything is working. So let me position it beside it so I can see the app side by side. So let's always rerun the app. Hash identifier ML app. Very simple. So I can paste in my test here. If I paste in any test, click on predict, we are going to see the result of the test below. Right. Hello. Right. Very simple. Now we are done with it. So we need to be able to work on the processing layer, which is this particular place. So I'll go back again to the app, and then to save us time, I'm going to import some particular libraries. To be importing joblib, right? And I also need to import OS to help us load our model, pre-trained model. These are the most important thing that will be important, right? Very simple. Then for the plot, I'm going to also import Altair as ALT to help us with our plot. Very nice. So let me paste in the code to load it. I'm going to paste in this code and let me explain. So what we are doing is that we have created a simple function in which we're using joblib, right, to load that particular file. So we're going to be opening the file, the model file, right, that is being supplied. We're going to load it and return that particular model. So this is going to be the option. So we're going to call it as hash classifier. Then this is the model that we used in the previous tutorial. As you remember, 1st December. We are now in 2020. Anyway, in case you're watching from it in the future. And then this is going to be used to help make our prediction. This simple function is a simple function we have built to help us with providing a simple plot using Altair. So we're going to pass in the prediction probability, the prediction itself, together with the classes for each of the probabilities. Very simple to save us time. And then we are using Altair to plot it well. So since we are using pandas, we need to also import pandas here. So import pandas as PD. Perfect. So we are done with it. Now let's apply this particular function to our app. So I have to make sure that I have my models inside my models folder. So I'll copy and paste the model there. So I'll go back again to my models folder, and I'm going to paste in my model, right? It's a logistic regression count vectorizer model. That is how I name it to make it easy for myself in the future. So let's go back again and save it. So now, the reason it gave us the error was because we did not have the model there, right? So perfect. Now, if I paste in any particular text here, we can get the result. So let's make our prediction. So if I come down to the app itself here, as the person clicks on the button, I want to also make some prediction. So let's specify the prediction. We're going to be the hash classifier app.predict, and I'm going to pass it into an array, my hash values. Perfect. That's going to be my prediction. Then we also need to specify the prediction probability, which in this case is going to be the same thing, the hash classifier.predict proba. Then I'm going to pass in the hash values again. Very simple, right? That is something very simple that we have done. Okay, perfect. So we have gotten our prediction and a prediction probability. Now we also need to get our probability in a very nice format that we can use for the metrics, right? So let's go to my probabilities, and I'm going to be using my dictionary, normal Python. I'm going to pass in my hash classifier plus the classes, and then let's round it. So let's use numpy.round to round the result that is going to come. Before we run it, let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to return the prediction proba. So predict proba, right? The first value there. Perfect. So you have gotten our prediction, you have gotten our probabilities, and now let's return the result. So this, we can just go back again and say st.write to return the prediction, right? And in case I also want to return the probabilities, I can just go with st.write the probabilities. So let's go with the probabilities. So let's save it and let's try it out. So I'll get my simple hash term and paste it there. So I have some hash values that to be using. So I'll go back again to the app. So let's paste it here. So this is our test that we are pasting. So let's just predict. Hopefully it's able to return some wonderful result. Voila, right? Wow. So it's able to return MD5 as the algorithm, and it's able to return this wonderful dictionary, right? Very simple. So you have seen how to build this app using the machine learning model that we had, right? Now let's see how to add another tool to it before we do the plots. So I come down again to the app that we're building. Let's use another layer. So I'm going to go back again still to the processing layer. We're building a very simple function using NameThatHash. So in case you don't have NameThatHash, you can just install it with pip install NameThatHash. It's giving us an error because we missed the model. We have fixed it. So let's go back again. So sudo python pip install name this NTH, right? Or name that hash. That is a full package name, right? So any of them is going to work. Okay, perfect. So after that, you're just going to go back again to the app. I hope you could see the code. Apologies for this. Right, so this is it, right? This was the code. So let's go back again to the app and let's write that particular code. So NameThatHash comes as a CLI and as an API. So we're using the API aspect of it. So I'm just going to go back again to the app, then say from NameThatHash, that's the name of the package, NameThatHash, very interesting name, import runner, right? This is how to run the CLI, the API. So let's go back again. Let's create a function. So function to identify hash, right? It's going to be my def to identify with NameThatHash. That's the name of the function I'm calling. I'm going to pass in my hash values, whatever the value that is being supplied, and this hash value must always be in a list, right? So this must always be in a list. So hash must be in a list, right? You don't forget that. So for the runner to work, then I'm going to specify that, okay, this is going to be the result Then let's go to my runner dot API return. So this runner here is coming from here. So result runner dot API return. You can return the hashes as a dictionary or as a JSON. So let's return it as a dictionary. I'm going to pass it as a list. Remember, it must always be in the format of a list, hash values. Then now I can return the results. So let's save it. So this is going to be the function we're using to return our result. Very simple. So let's apply this particular function, identify with NameThatHash here. So let's go this at my NameThatHash result. So identify, I'm going to pass in my hash result, which is going to be my hash values. So let's return that result. Also st.write NTH result. So let's go back. We have our test here. So let's click on predict to see whether it's going to work perfectly for us. Perfect. So that's finished working. So if I come back and I check it out, we have, yes, everything is working as expected. Well, so you saw it was able to give us our result in the format of a dictionary. So this is okay, but it's not the best option. The best thing is to hide this entire stuff, right? So I want to hide it. So let's see how to hide it. So to hide it, I can just use the extender. So hide result. It's going to be with st.expander. Streamlit has you covered. So let's go as result. Or yeah, or let's call that, say, using NameThatHash, right? And then this time I'm going to pass in here. So I save it, it's automatically going to bring an extender here, right? Expander, not extender. So if I click on the predict, we are going to have the result. Well, very nice. And then this now is in the format of an expander that we can expand to see the result. We also can make this one in a different format if you want, right? Perfect. So you have seen how to build the app. So the next option is that we want to take this one out from this particular format, from this array. So to take it out, just come back here, then just take it out from that. And then for the probabilities, we don't want it in this particular format. We want to use it with the metrics. So I'll go back to down outside my app, outside the plots and everything. So before we do that, let's do the plot first. So we already have the function to plot here. So plot, then I'm going to pass in the term, right? So that's the simple function. We are using alter to already plot it. So I'll come down here and I just go with the plot. And I'll pass in the hash value. So let's save it. So that is the advantage of using functions. It makes your work cleaner and easier. So let's click on predict. So it has given us our result. The stuff is here. Let's see whether the plot also came. Voila, right? The plot has come. Very nice, right? And I can also expand the plot as I wish, right? Very cool. Okay, that is very nice. Now let's work on the metrics. So I'll come down outside the columns, still outside the columns, to bring the metrics outside the columns, the two columns, but still under the same option here, right? So this is going to be the metrics. There isn't Streamlit Metrics, which is going to be st.metric. Then I can just pass in my label, right? And I'll specify, okay, let's say I want to get the accuracy, and then I can also specify the value that I want. It can be any value, and then delta. So delta is also the change. So it can also be 1.7, right? So let's save it and see how the result comes. So this is how the metrics work, st.metric, then you just move on. So some time ago we went into details, we built something like that. So we're using the same approach to build our app. So perfect. So now it has given us this result here, right? Very nice. Cool. Very nice metric. It's also a very nice component that you can also use. So let's design the metric. So I'll copy and paste the code to save us time. Perfect. So this is it. So we'll be taking off this one because this is just an example, and you're going to create 4 different columns for each of the 4 different classes, and then just as we define it, we are going to say that okay, for the label is going to be MD5 for that particular column. Then since we created a probability dictionary here, right, this particular probability dictionary with the hash class, right, the particular type, and then the prediction probability we score, we are going to pass it into the particular value here, right? So the value, and the delta is going to be the actual value. We're going to multiply it by 100 to give it percentage, right? Then we will do the same thing for the rest. So one more thing is that because I do not want to, let's save it and see the result. I'll come down here, let me expand it, and then let's paste it here. Let's see what you have done so far. I do not know whether I speak so fast, but my apologies. Voila, right? You can see that this is very nice, but it is too long, right? There are a lot of floating points, right? So we want to reduce this one. So we can use numpy round or mass round or round by default to that. So do that, just go back again. Let's import numpy to help us with that. So import numpy as np, and then I'll come down here to the app, to the probabilities, and I'm going to be using numpy. So numpy.round. Then I'm going to pass in my array, right? That is the first thing. Then I'm going to specify how many points I want. So I want only just 3. That is all, right? So this is something very simple. So now if I go back again to the app and I rerun it again, so let's rerun the app. Now see that has reduced it to just 3 decimal points, right? Just 3, and you can see the plot is very nice, very simple, very cool. So we have seen how to build a very simple app that takes in some tests using Streamlit as our main framework. Then our machine learning models as well as NameThatHash, we process our result. Under the processing layer, we return our result in our Streamlit app. So that is a very simple app we have built from scratch. So thank you for watching the tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, you can also put inside the comment section below, and check our materials below for some interesting materials to help you master machine learning, Python, Streamlit, and the rest. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a wonderful and exciting 2022. See you another time. Stay blessed. Bye.